country you're in. I'm Brian Offenberger. I want to welcome you to Aftermarketer Club's webinar for the month of November. Today we're going to be talking about how you can hire marketing help that produces results. Some of the more frequent questions that we've gotten, not only here at Aftermarketer Club, but also on the radio show that I host about online marketing best practices. We've gotten questions about how you can hire the right kind of help that produces results. So if you're planning in 2012 to look for more marketing help, whether it be people you hire for your own internal team or whether you're looking to outsource help, my objective over the next 45 to 50 minutes that we spend together is to give you information that's going to help you down that journey. Now, a couple of procedural things. My objective is for you to get the information out of this call that you were looking for. If you have any questions during the course of the presentation, there's a little chat window. You'll see that chat window. It's in your viewing screen there. Please, we're monitoring that window. If you have questions, please put them there. We'll be happy to answer them. I want you to get the information that you need. So let's get kicking, go right on to it. When you're looking to hire marketing help, there's a lot of different types of help that you can hire that's out there. And that's our point. Let's talk about what we're going to cover today. I'm going to show you how to find good help, the right kind of help. I'm going to show you how to assess the qualifications of the people that you're talking with. How can you separate the good from the bad, the wannabes from the people that can actually produce results? I'm going to give you best practices as well as what you can expect to pay. So a lot of meat that we're going to be covering. I want to make sure that that you get, again, good, solid information to help you out. Now, I've alluded to the fact we've been helping people in the aftermarket industry as well as the automotive industry for quite some time now. We've hosted a radio show for 6 years. It's on the Internet's largest talk station. We had the opportunity to bring on experts and interview them about a variety of different online marketing practices. And as you'll see, I have lots of professional training and certifications in different aspects of online marketing. Now, all that's useless and meaningless if none of this produces results. And I can see from our attendee list, several of you have been on calls with me before. So let's bring a practical approach about how you can find help, where you can find it, and what kinds of things you can do. So let's talk first. Where can you find good marketing help? Where do you want to begin to look? And my first tip for you is to make sure you define what it is you really need, because there's lots of different help you can find, and you start with, what is it that I'm trying to accomplish? What are my goals and objectives here? And then that leads to the next question, what kind of resources do I need to make that happen? Now, after I've done that, after I've defined those two areas, then I start to look at, am I going to in-source this, outsource this, do it in-house or out-of-house? And you'll be amazed at the number of people that we've encountered in traveling across the country that they know they need to do something, but they haven't really taken the time to define what it is they're hoping to accomplish and taking a look at what they really need, because that's going to dictate a lot of your approach. You're going to find that certain marketing agencies specialize in certain types of marketing, certain styles. If you're looking at doing this in-house, you'll find the same of candidates that you're interviewing. So define what it is that you're wanting to accomplish, look at what resources that you need, and do a little bit of anticipation as well. Plan for the future. So not only look at what you're going to need in the short term, but look at what some of your longer-term strategic objectives are, and that's going to help you in this hiring process. So first thing, before you do a thing, clearly define what it is you need. Now, one of the things that you want to look at is what you're really looking for in a marketing partner, whether it's internal or external. There are generalists. There are people that can help you with a broad variety of different marketing channels and marketing approaches. They're familiar with different media types. They're generalists. They can give you a wide variety of help in many areas. Now, sometimes our needs call for specialists. And you can think a lot of a doctor. Do we need a family doctor or do we need a heart surgeon here? So one of the things, based upon what your objectives are and you define what your needs are, your next step is to make this determination. What kind of a help do I need? Do I need a generalist? Do I need people that are kind of good about all different aspects of marketing? Is this what I need help with? Or do I need a specialist? You know, another thing that you'll sit and ask is, do you need help with strategy and tactics? Or do you need just someone to implement what it is that you've already defined? These are some of the questions that you're going to want to ask, because as you transfer that to finding help, you'll have smaller agencies, large agencies, a variety of different things depending upon what your needs are. One little tip that I'll give you is this. We've had the opportunity over the course of our radio show and over the course of my business career to work in both large and smaller environments, and I'm often asked what the differences are between the two. Generally, a smaller agency is going to give you, and this is a generalized rule, but generally a smaller agency will give you more experienced people that are actually working on your projects. For larger advertisers, and we have some that are on this call, you know, for larger advertisers, you may be assigned a kid that's been out of college a year or two to manage your paid search campaign. Now, a large agency will give that kid parameters over how to operate that campaign, but the reality is that kid has no real seasoning, no real experience, no perspective to really help the situation. Now, that may be okay depending upon what you're doing. And obviously, as we talk a little bit longer during this discussion today, there's different rates involved depending on what you're looking to get, you know, what kind of help you're looking to get. So you have to factor all of that in, but that's one difference that you want to consider between a small agency and a large agency. Now, I'm often asked when I'm looking to hire a marketing help, how valuable are referrals? And you see here, avoid asking friends. That's probably hopping out at a lot of you right on the screen right now. And that kind of goes contrary to what we've always been taught. You know, we're always taught, go ask your peers, see what they think. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you about that. My good friend Lenny Schaefer at Chop Shop Customs, okay, and Lenny's not on the call today. But, you know, if I want to restore a car, I buy a classic and I want to restore it, let me tell you something, Lenny's the guy to talk to, because this is what he has done his entire life. I think Lenny would also tell you that he's not a marketing guy, and he's never ran marketing agencies or marketing campaigns or anything along that line. In fact, Lenny will share with you that getting a little help from the right people is a good thing. Now, here's the point that I want to make. Most of your friends, about the only thing they're really going to be able to tell you about their marketing agencies is whether they were easy to work with, whether the people were good. You'll often hear, well, call these guys, they're nice. And that's great. You have to work with people that you get along with. But the reality is this. If I want a heart surgeon, I'd rather another heart surgeon refer one to me than my buddy down the street that runs a siding company. So if I want to know siding and I want to know how to take care of my house, I'm going to ask that guy. If I want to know what to do with marketing, I'm going to look at a few other avenues to try to get better referrals in a better direction. Now, one, ask your accountant. And really what you want to do is ask your accountant what businesses they work with that seem to be doing well in a tough economy. That's a great question. What businesses are you working with that seem to be doing well in a tough economy? My tip, call those businesses and find out what marketing help or marketing agencies they're working with. Okay? If they're doing well, which your accountant will know, their marketing help might be someone qualified for you to talk to. I'm going to give you some more specific tips in just a few more slides, but one of the other things I like to ask a lot is marketing agencies. When I encounter them, one of the things I'll say to them is this. If I don't hire you to help me, and you're in my shoes, who would you be hiring? Instead of you, who do you recommend? And it's amazing. We did this in another business that I had an opportunity to work with several years ago, and of the 7 companies that we invited to submit proposals, 6 of the 7 recommended one firm that said, if you don't do it with us, these are the guys to do it with. And believe me, that's valuable information when you're making some decisions of these kinds of magnitudes. Now let's look at another tip, another thing that we might want to do to help find the right kinds of marketing help. And I'm going to look in a couple of areas. I'm going to go on LinkedIn, and I'm going to look for companies there. And all I'm going to do is simply go to Google. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Google, and I'm going to hit in Google search, I'm going to put LinkedIn plus, and then marketing agencies, or LinkedIn plus automotive digital marketing firms, or LinkedIn plus SEO agencies, or LinkedIn plus PR firms, something along that line to starts to see what pops up. Because generally what's going to pop up in LinkedIn are those sites that have the most authority in the LinkedIn world. So I'm going to start to get an idea of who within the area of what I'm looking for might be, quote unquote, the cream of the crop. Now another avenue I can go is to forums. I can simply go to Google and type in the word forum plus SEO, or forum plus public relations, or forum plus TV ad agencies, or whatever kind of marketing help that I may be looking for. And again, what will start to pop up is those forums that are most relative to the topic. So if I'm looking to hire someone to help me get high search engine rankings, or what we call search engine optimization, I type in Google forum plus SEO, it would pop up the top forums on the topic. I either join the forum or I start to monitor conversation. I get a feel for, I can ask forum members what agencies they may recommend. Look, forums are where people are really interested in topics, okay? We run a marketing agency, so we participate on marketing forums. And you'll see thought leadership there. You'll have people that will give you qualified recommendations. Remember when I said if I want a heart surgeon, I'd rather another heart surgeon recommend them? Well, a forum is a venue that will help you find that kind of help that you're looking for. People that are skilled enough to give you good advice, because every day we see horror stories, and I'm sure those of you that are on this call, I'm sure you can share some horror stories with us too. You know, the reality is we're all on the call to avoid the problem, so let's find the right help to begin with. And gang, this will help you for individuals. I could go to LinkedIn and key in LinkedIn plus SEO experts, or LinkedIn plus SEO specialists, or whatever, trying to find individuals, just as I can use these techniques to find companies. Now, just as in the automotive industry, as there are trade associations, you know, SEMA and Apex and all of them, same thing exists in the marketing world. And again, depending upon what type of specialization that you're looking for, you can go to certain trade associations. The logo that's there is for the search engine marketing world, the search engine marketing professional organization. That's called SEMPO. And you can get a list of SEMPO members. Excuse me. You can exchange ideas and, again, get referrals and references within that forum. Great place, an absolutely great place to go look for the right kind of help. So we're looking in forums, we're looking on LinkedIn groups, we're looking for agencies, and now once we start to find agencies, what we want to start to do is look for credentials, okay? And this is where you want to be really, really, really careful. One, be aware of people that tell you they're award-winning. I'm not saying that winning awards is a bad thing. In fact, our agency, we've been honored to win some awards along the way. The reality, though, is this. You want agencies that can help you accomplish your business objective. The reward you're looking for is to increase your profits, increase your sales, whatever your business mission is, that's what you're looking for. And agency credentials are nice. Their experience, their specialization, all of those kinds of things are a good thing to look at. You also want to look at the agency's involvement in the industry, and not the automotive industry. All right? You're hiring marketing help, and yes, they need to know the automotive business. They need to understand that. There is zero doubt about it. However, they also need to be involved in the world of marketing. They need to be involved in supporting their industries just like you do yours. So look for agencies that belong to trade associations relating to search marketing or direct marketing or social media marketing or e-marketing. There are a variety of great trade organizations that promote best practices, that promote ethical standards. A company's involvement in their industry is a reflection of that company's commitments. And so we urge you to look for companies that are involved in marketing associations, not just automotive. Now, here's what's really, really, really critical and where a lot of people make mistakes. They go, especially this happens in really big firms. What you want to know when you're dealing with a marketing agency is not only the scope of the agency, but you really want to know the people that are actually working on my stuff. Those people, who are they? What are their qualifications? What are all of them? What are they about? Because the people that are directly working on your project on behalf of the agency, they're the ones you're going to interface with, and they're the ones that are going to help you drive the business results you're looking for. You want to understand what they're all about, what they bring to the table. Now, another point that I want you to keep in mind, the industry of online marketing and social media marketing is rapidly emerging. Our universities are just now starting to teach this as parts and foundations of marketing itself. There are lots of snake oil salesmen out there telling you that they're experts on this and they know how to do this and all this kind of stuff. Let me share with you my opinion. If they're not involved in a trade association, and if they cannot show you any degree of professional certifications from any Google, any trade association, any agency, because it's rapidly evolving. Google has certification programs. There are great private firms that have certification programs. There are trade associations that have certification programs. We strongly urge you to deal with companies and people that have those levels of commitment, that have made the steps to get formalized training, even if it's simply to show you their professional commitment to the industry that they're in. Okay? So credentials are real important. Let me give you a few other things to think about. All right? Case studies. If they have case studies that they can share with you, though, they're great. Take a look at them. They'll reveal a lot about the firm, a lot about how they conduct business, a lot about what they think is important. So take a look at case studies that they're able to share with you. Now, some firms may not have them. That's not necessarily a disqualifier. We do have published case studies at my company, but I also know we have clients that we've done wonderful things for that don't want it publicized. And that's okay as well. You want to take a variety of factors. I've given you a lot of different tips so far, and you want to use those together. You want to consider all these elements before you make a hiring decision. So no one thing is singling itself out as more important than another, but case studies are something, if they have them, take a look at it. Number 2, testimonials. Now, you're never going to see a testimonial on a website that's a negative testimonial. You just aren't. And I've yet to see any company give you references that are bad. Okay? I promise you, if I call in a heating and cooling company and I ask them for references, they're going to give me names, and every one of those people are going to love them. Okay? However, you can go to forums and look for reviews. And here's another thing. If you've got a company that's got video testimonials, now, video or audio, those are pretty powerful because then you can see or hear what's happening. It's not just words on a page. They are a little bit more authentic. They're a little more real, so those may help you in some of your decision-making processes as well. Now, another thing that you want to understand is the work style of the company that you're considering and how that work style is going to interface with you. You determine what your needs are, how you want to interact, and that work style is critically important. You want a style that's compatible because you are going to be working with an individual that's in-house, that you're hiring as part of your staff, or you're going to be outsourcing it and hiring an agency. The better the chemistry between you and the people that you're working with, the better the results you're going to get. So pay attention to what your gut tells you. Make sure you understand their work style. Are they very formal? Is it very important that if you set a meeting at noon that you're there at noon? Or are they the kind of group, you get around to it at 12:15, that's okay. You know, you want to make sure that you have that style fit, because if you don't, you're not going to go down the road to maximum results. Now, another tip I want to share with you is this: be realistic. There is not, you know, I'm 50 years old. I've been doing this a long time. I've had the opportunity to travel across the country teaching companies and individuals a variety of different things with marketing. And I've yet to meet anyone that has a big red S on their chest and a big cape behind them, okay? We want some common sense. You know, don't expect to spend $1,000 to make millions. Be realistic. In fact, if you know how to do that, let me know. I'll send you $5,000 and we can invest and we'll make some good money. You know, we want to be realistic about what we're going to invest, the return that we want to expect, and we want to be very, very clear about what a company can deliver to us. And I'm going to talk to you about that in a minute. But don't go for pie-in-the-sky claims. If it sounds too good to be true, that's probably the case. And for most marketing, not all, okay, and I'm going to emphasize this one more time. Not all. There are certain things that we could do right now today that could have an immediate impact on your business. But for the most part, it's going to take about 3 to 6 months for things to sink in for most of the people that are on the call. So have a realistic timetable of the expectations to generate results. Be realistic over the amount that you're willing to invest to drive business results. Be realistic in what you expect from it. Make sure that you're not getting all superlative and pie-in-the-sky claims from your vendors that you're considering to hire, or from people that you're considering to hire. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. What you're looking for is realistic growth that's sustainable, that's profitable, with strong cash flows, okay? All right, let's go into a couple other things that are really exciting. And we're going to get into actual pricing. How much should you pay? How much should you pay for services? What it's going to cost you? We're going to go through all of that in just a minute. I'll give you some ideas on hourly rates, some really neat stuff that I hope you find. Well, let's give you some best practices first. Some things that will help you not only in hiring the right firm, but when you start to work with them, to get good, strong, solid results. First and foremost, make marketing a priority. And gang, that's really tough. For those of you that have been on my webinar before, marketing is one of the things that you can slide off every single day on your daily to-do list. I know that we have people that, you know, my mom always used to tell me the path to hell is paved with good intentions. And marketing is always a good intention, but lots of us can put it on the back burner or slide it from today's to-do list. Oh, well, I'll get to it tomorrow. In fact, I can relate a lot to the guy that owns a health club, because the guy that owns a health club gets a lot of people that sign up that want to come in and exercise and improve their health, and yet a huge majority of them find reasons every day not to show up at the gym. So if you want good results, strong results out of your marketing in general and out of the people that you're hiring specifically, make sure you make it a priority, okay? Next, be open and upfront. You know, for those of you that watch the Colbert Report on the Comedy Channel, he uses the word truthiness. Well, you want to make sure that you're doing that. Be candid and upfront with the people that you work with and hire. It's much easier to give great results based upon reality than it is upon partial truths or hopes and dreams. You know, just a week ago, we had a company that we're talking to 2 of their principals, and we're asking a simple question. How many sales calls does your sales reps average a day? How many times a day are they in front of a customer asking a customer to buy something? Well, one guy told us the average was 1 time a day, and the other guy said 3. And it turns out 1 was the right answer. They both knew it, but the guy that was saying 3 was afraid to admit it to us. He was embarrassed. And that's not a good thing. It's not good for you, and it's not good for the people that are trying to help you. Next thing to get better results, respect the data. A good company is going to work with you using analytical data to make decisions. In fact, when you're selecting a good company or you're trying to hire an individual, they should be able to show you some degree of performance data, even if they need to white out the client's name. You know, ask them, give them a day or two. Ethical companies aren't going to falsify things, and if you give them a day or two, that's short enough turnaround time that they're really going to need to run a real report. They can cross out the client's name, send you the data, but you want to use data-driven decision-making. That is a great, huge thing for you to get better results. Don't trust your gut instincts. Don't trust their gut instincts. Use the data that's available to you for your decision-making. Now the next tip, again, and it kind of ties into the first one about making marketing a priority. But if you want to get better results from the marketing agencies and help that you hire, make sure you're prepared. It is amazing to me how many people spend big bucks on their marketing, and they schedule a meeting with their marketing agency to review tactics or strategies or directions or results or what have you, and they come to the meeting and they're not prepared for it. And the ones that they're hurting is themselves. They're not getting the maximum out of the investment. They're not getting the maximum rate of return out of their marketing simply because, again, marketing is not quite a priority with some of the other things, and they thought they could wing it. And let's be honest, you know, I'm 50 years old. I've gone into meetings before in my life thinking that I could wing it, and almost universally every time that I come out of a meeting thinking that I can wing it, life teaches me that I would have been better off to have been prepared. So I'm sure you can relate to what I've shared with you, and make sure that you give the proper amount of preparation so you can get the kind of results that you want. We talked about data. We also talk about objectives. Whatever you do in your marketing, you should have an objective for why you're doing it. Make sure that you measure against those objectives. Those are very, very important for you, and that will help you get better results out of the marketing help that you hire. Let's go on to a few more tips, okay? Do your part. Simple things. It's amazing. When you start to work, I'm going to pick a website, for example, okay? And when you start to have a website redesign done or rebuild done, you really want to get your marketing folks that are dealing on it to start the project and focus on the project until it's complete. What you don't want to do is starting and stopping. Much like building a home, you'd like the crew to get out, build the home, be done with it, and move on. That's probably the way you're going to get the best home. However, if they're out there for a few days and then they're off the job site for a month and then they come back and they're working for 4, you know, and that happens a lot, especially in building websites. You'll need, or rebuilding or redesigning, you'll need to provide marketing material for your agency or the people that you're hiring to help you. When you do that, make sure that you follow a schedule, that you live up to your commitments, that you don't let things slide, so you get that all-important continuity to get great results. Make sure you say what's on your mind. It's just amazing to me. Don't be afraid of hurting people's feelings or egos or anything along that line. There's a way. We're all tactful people. There's a way we can be professional and focus on what's going on, and that's what you want to do. Don't be afraid to ask questions when you interact with the agency or the people that you hire. Find out. State what's on your mind. Okay, kind of simple. Now, I'm also kind of going to segue into a couple things. You have to have trust. Whoever you hire, whoever you work with, there has to be a trust relationship there, just as like you're hiring a doctor. If you're working with a doctor to improve your health, you have to have faith in the people that you're hiring. Now, I know trust is earned, but once you make the hiring commitment to go forward with someone, have faith in your ability to make a good decision. Be open-minded to what they're suggesting. Don't be foolish. You know, again, one of my mom's favorite sayings was, I may have been born at night, but it wasn't last night. So don't be naive, but be open-minded. All right, the world's changing rapidly. There's a lot of different ways to skin the cat, so to speak. Some of them involve new technologies and a little bit different approaches with the old stuff. Look at how the phone's evolved over the years, right? That thing's been around for, I don't know, to date myself 90 years or so, and look at what's going on with it. So be open-minded. Don't be naive, but be open-minded. Have a little faith in the people that you're working with for them to give you some good ideas. Now, I know lots of you were very interested in what to pay, and I'm going to get into a lot of meat on this right now. We're going to talk dollars and cents here. Okay, so let's get into it. Thanks for your questions. I am monitoring them. Feel free. Put them in the chat box that's in your window. I want to make sure you get the information that you're looking for by participating in our webinar today. Thank you for attending, and let's go on. What do you pay? Well, before you do this, all right, and I'm not teasing you. I am going to give you actual dollar ranges and numbers and things like that in just a second. But before you do, you want to prepare. All right, I've already told you how important it is to define what it is you need and to be realistic. I've already shared that with you. Here are two things that a lot of companies that we encounter don't have a clue, and you'll really help yourself if you know this before you start. Know your numbers. In other words, know how much you're willing to pay to get a new sales opportunity. Okay? It may be, depending on your terminology, how much you're going to pay for a sales lead, how much you're willing to pay for a sold lead, what is economically profitable for your business. The reason you know that or want to know that is it tells you how much you want to invest in order to acquire new business and new growth. You also need to know what your budget is. Because again, gang, depending on what you're hiring, we get a lot of people that call and say, hey, I need a lot of help. I need a new website, and I want to drive traffic to the website, and I want to do some paid search advertising, you know, and all of that's great. But an operating budget or a framework to work from is even better. Imagine going to an architect and saying, hey, I want to build a new house. Well, what has to happen is the architect needs to ask you some questions to understand what kind of house to design for you. And your budget is going to dictate how that goes about. You know, you might have a 15,000 square foot budget and everything's great. You might have 15,000 square foot taste and a 2,000 square foot budget, and that could be an issue. So when you're screening and you're looking for companies and you're looking for marketing help, when you get down to really the nitty-gritty and you feel comfortable who you're working with and talking to and all of that, oftentimes you want to give them a budget to work with and tell them to come back with a plan or an approach to help drive your business results. That's a really good thing to consider depending upon where you're at in your world. Now, your goal, let me make really, really clear on this, all right? Again, I told you earlier, kind of like a heart surgeon. God forbid one of your loved ones needs a heart surgeon. Your goal then is not to find the cheapest heart surgeon. It's not to see who will do it the cheapest. Your goal is to find out who's going to do it the best. And that's the same principle when you're looking for marketing help, both internal or external. The goal is not to see how cheaply we can buy it. The goal is to see how correctly we can buy something that will produce the right return. That's what we're looking to do. So let's keep our focus in the preparation stage before we go any further. Now, I have this chart, and one of the things about a webinar like this that we're on is I have companies that are on this webinar that are small startups. Some of them may be 1 or 2 man operations, and I have large corporations that are selling hundreds of millions of dollars on this call. So I'm going to try to give you some price ranges that will help both of you, okay? Generally, if you're looking at hiring in-house help, these are the most common positions that we see people hiring, and these are the dollar ranges. Now, this will vary depending upon a variety of conditions, which I'll share with you in just a second or so. It'll vary depending upon a variety of conditions, but these are salary ranges. The top 2 positions are generally for larger corporations, okay? So they're looking at hiring in-house help. These are generally larger corporations at the top end. We then have the last three that you see there: SEO, campaign manager, content specialist. You know, these might be for smaller companies that might be in the anywhere from the 3 million to $75 million range. If you're looking at hiring in-house help, other sources to find for salary ranges, again, go to some of the trade associations. Search Engine Marketing Professional Organization, the Web Analytics Association, E-Marketing Association. There's also some good articles that have been published on this on a website called SEO Moz. That's SEO Moz. You could use their search feature and find out about search marketing salaries and things along that line that could help you break this down. These are just the most common positions that we see corporations hiring in-house. That's what I'm circling there, the most common. And these are the salary ranges for these positions. Now, let's say if I want to outsource some things. First, let's talk about the ways companies will charge you. You can buy flat hourly consulting, and I see it commonly anywhere from $75 on the low end an hour to as high as $1,000 an hour. And believe me, the $1,000 an hour guy really produces some results. The point, though, is generally if you're buying things on an hourly range for someone that knows what they're doing that can help you, you're going to be looking at about $175 an hour. Now, again, want to emphasize, general range, there are lots of different variables, but that's about an hourly figure that you're going to look for. And you'll find people that will sell you hourly consulting. They'll do it a la carte. They'll sell you a block of time, whatever the case may be. Most common what you see is next, which are flat rate plans. That's when you go and you're hiring a marketing agency, you're agreeing on a scope of work, they're giving you a flat rate price to perform the work. And the flat rate price can really vary depending upon the amount of work that needs to be done, the expertise that is required to do it. Kind of simple, just like in your business. So how much needs to be done and what kind of expertise do we need behind it? Those are two of the bigger criteria that are used under flat rate pricing plans. I'm going to give you some ideas about those in a while as well. Profit sharing. You will find some firms that may be interested in doing some work in exchange for the profits or charging you a lower upfront cost in exchange for the profits. There are people that will accept work that way. Generally, the firms that will accept work that way that can actually give you a return on your investment, those kinds of firms, they're generally going to want to deal with high volume businesses. They're looking to do something that gives them opportunities to earn six-figure or more retainer or profit-sharing fees. So if your business is running that kind of volume potential, you know, you might get 60, 70,000 visitors a month, and yet you're not getting the kind of results that you'd like. You might go to a firm. They might give you a lower upfront cost and say, okay, if we can improve the conversion rate off of that traffic, we want a cut of that improvement. Generally, it's for higher volume businesses is what you're going to find that working with. You'll find firms that will do a work for a monthly retainer. You have a monthly amount that you pay them, and they'll do that scope of work. My firm will work that way, as well as we do a lot of work on flat rate plans and monthly retainer plans, as well as hourly consulting. But with a monthly retainer, generally you're agreeing upon a scope of work over a period of time, and you're agreeing on a monthly payment fee that you'll pay for that scope of work and the results that you're looking for to go along with it. So that's another model of how you may pay the people that you're hiring to help. Now there's also a model called pay for traffic. or pay for leads or pay for sales, where people in essence get a commission and their fees are driven based upon what they bring to the party. For most of you and for most agencies, you're going to be interacting with either hourly, flat rate, or monthly retainer. Those are by far the most common payment models that are available to hire marketing agencies. Most common, generally those three. How much does it cost? And there's a lot of range there and lots of questions coming in. I appreciate you asking. Okay, lots of neat questions. So we'll make sure that we're getting to them. In fact, we're getting some questions that we're going to be talking about in our webinar in December as well. So good stuff. Thank you. Okay, how much does it cost? Well, you can have somebody review your website, and it depends upon how extensive of a review that you'd like them to do. But a review of a website will run you anywhere from $500 to about $10,000, depending on how deep you want to go with it. Now, to have a website designed and built for you, or to work with a professional firm on website design, whether it be a redesign or a brand new website, generally on the low end for good firms is around $1,500. And depending on large, you could be a large e-commerce seller with tens of thousands of different SKUs and different items. With large shopping cart requirements and a lot of different things, $100,000 plus, depending upon what it is you're doing. Okay. Marketing plan. Marketing plans are very common or should be fundamental and vital, but a lot of businesses don't have them. To get outside help that's good to help you with a marketing plan, we'll run you with the range that you see there on the board, depending upon the amount of involvement, the level of expertise. Social media marketing is very, very, very broad when we say that, depending upon what kind of help people need. But generally, plans start at about $500 and can go up there. I know large brands that are paying hundreds of thousands a year to have their Facebook and their social media presence managed by outsiders. Politicians as an example, celebrities. It's a hot thing in my business right now. It's kind of trendy for a celebrity to say they have a social media firm. Now, those of you may be aware of Ashton Kutcher on 2.5 Men, and he's a big Twitter guy and all this, and he just got himself into a bunch of trouble over the recent Penn State sex scandal. Lots of stuff. And so now he's retreating, and he's got 8 million people following him on Twitter, and he's kind of revamping his approach and all this kind of stuff. And it's a real trendy thing amongst celebrities right now to hire social media firms. Generally, though, you're going to look at the range that you see there. And then the Internet runs off of keywords, and keyword research is absolutely vital for your success. If the Internet is important and social media marketing and digital marketing is important to your business strategy, you should have had great keyword research done so you identify the search terms that bring buyers to your business. Okay? And again, depending upon how extensive you want to go and how much analysis needs to be done, you'll find keyword research that ranges anywhere from $500 to $3,500, again, depending upon the extent needs to be done. I earlier used an analogy that marketing is a lot like constructing a home, and there are a lot of different factors. A lot of it is customized to the individual needs of the client. We have, it's not published on our website. This is a special URL that you see listed right there on the slide. This is a rough price sheet that we make available to our clients and prospective clients just to give them a feel. If you're looking to outsource your work, I hope you give us a consideration, but at any time feel free to look at that pricing to at least give you some idea of a benchmark. Now, there are lots of variables, the geography, where people live, the amount of competition, all of that thing really are variables that come into play over what's happening with how much you'll pay to get good marketing help. Now, in line with that, I had somebody ask me, if I have a budget, how much of my gross sales should I be spending on marketing and that kind of stuff? And that was a great question. It's so good, in fact. Scott, thank you for asking that. In our December webinar, that's what we're doing. We're going through how do you create a marketing budget? Where should you be spending your money? How much of your gross sales should you be spending on marketing? And Scott, I'm going to give you an answer. It depends a little bit upon where you're at. Startups might spend more. If you're looking for marketing share, what have you. But what I see commonly are companies spending about 3 to 6% of gross, about 3 to 6% of gross sales on marketing-related things. And in our December webinar, we're not only going to talk about how you can determine what marketing budget you need, but we'll talk to you about how you might want to consider allocating it. What channels, how much should you spend of your budget for certain functions? We're going to go through all of that in the month of December. Now, I think I've answered all the questions that have come in, and during this next second, I'm going to give you an opportunity. Please, if you have questions, enter them into the chat window that you see there. Also, you see on the screen right now my contact information. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have relating from this webinar. Feel free to either call me or email me. If you have an interest in seeing how my firm could help you, obviously, we'd really appreciate your consideration. Would love to throw our hat in the ring and share with you what we could do that way as well. Now, our webinar in December, I'm not quite familiar with the date. If I had been a little bit prepared, I'm still suffering from SEMA show hangover right now. But we are having a webinar in December. We'll make sure that you get that date and time. I've told you already the topic is how to create a marketing budget and how to allocate your marketing budget for maximum results. That's what we're going to be discussing in December. I'm really looking forward to you joining us. I also want to let you know one last thing. If you go to our blog at aftermarketerclub.com/blog, you're going to find that we publish 3 times a week original content to help you grow your business. Lots of great free stuff. We have a couple of articles that we published in the month of October, late October and early November. I'm sorry to do that to you, but late October, early November, about how to hire a marketing agency and about how to get the most out of your meetings with your marketing agency. So you can either look during that date range I just gave you, go to our search bar on our blog, simply key in marketing agency. These articles will come up. You can get a little bit more information to help you on your quest to get the help you really need. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to spend with us. We appreciate your attention and surely value your trust. Again, I hope you join us in December, and if there's anything we could do to help you, please give us a call. That will conclude our webinar today. I hope our paths cross again real soon. Take care. Bye now.